Welcome, apprentice. We often look to the stars to map our journey through the world, but what about the map of our inner world? That's what dreams are for, and in this explainer, we're going to learn how to read that map. Think about it. Your dreams? They're like nightly reports from your deepest consciousness. They are the ultimate truth tellers, especially when we're busy telling ourselves little lies during the day. So, let's dive in. Let us begin our journey into this hidden realm. All right, so our first stop on this map, we have to talk about the pioneer himself, Sigmund Freud. For him, dreams were the royal road to the unconscious. So, what was Freud's big idea? Well, he saw our unconscious mind as this bubbling cauldron of forbidden desires. The stuff that's too aggressive or too sexual for polite society. To keep all that from waking us up in a panic, the mind gets clever. It disguises these desires, letting us act them out in a kind of hidden story while we sleep.
And he had a name for this whole process, dream work. And it's really like a bit of mental alchemy. It's fascinating. First, you've got the real hidden meaning. He called that the latent content. But then the mind's censor steps in and just twists it all up. It uses these clever tricks, like mashing multiple ideas into one single symbol, or taking a really strong emotion and just sticking it onto something totally random in the dream. So what you end up with, the dream you actually remember, is what he called the manifest content. It's the cover story.
And this gets to a really key part of Freud's whole theory. He basically believed in a kind of universal dream dictionary. So if you dreamed of flying, it wasn't just about feeling free. Nope. For Freud, that almost always pointed to sexual desire. And some random object like a pole or a sword, well, to him, that was a pretty obvious phallic symbol. Look, Freud was an absolute genius for figuring out this whole censorship thing in the mind, but you could say his focus was a little narrow. This perspective argues that the subconscious isn't just some dark basement for our sexual hang-ups. No, it's a vast, incredible storehouse of cosmic memory and untapped power. And that's a view we're going to explore right now. And that brings us right to the big split between Freud and his most famous student, Carl Jung. It's a huge difference in perspective. See, where Freud was always looking backward, digging into past trauma, Jung was looking forward, at our potential. For Freud, dreams hid things. For Jung, dreams revealed things, a path toward becoming whole. Okay, so let's get into Jung. For him, dreams weren't about hiding things at all. They were about revealing them. He saw our whole psyche as this incredible, self-regulating ecosystem that's always pushing us toward wholeness. And the main way it does that is through something he called compensation. It's a brilliant idea. Jung believed that if your conscious life gets too one-sided, like, say, you're super rational and logical all day long, your dreams will balance the scales. They'll bring you these emotional, mythical, even totally irrational scenes at night. It's basically your psyche tapping you on the shoulder and saying, hey, don't forget about this other huge part of you. And this is all built on a few key concepts. First, dreams are there to tell you what you're ignoring, what you don't know, or maybe what you don't want to know about yourself. They speak in this language of archetypes, these universal patterns like the shadow, which is basically all the parts of ourselves we try to disown. And here's the big one. Jung totally threw out Freud's dream dictionary. For him, a sword is only what a sword means to you. It's all personal. And wow, does this reframe a classic nightmare in a powerful way. Think about the being chased dream. For Jung, that's not just some random fear fantasy. It's a message. You're literally running from an aspect of yourself, your own ambition maybe, or your own anger that is just begging to be seen and integrated into your life. And this is where it gets really profound. This focus on wholeness, on bringing all the scattered parts of yourself together, it aligns perfectly with so many deeper cosmic truths. In this view, dream work isn't just about figuring out a puzzle. It becomes the essential inner dialogue you need to have to become the powerful individual you were always meant to be. All right, let's fast forward a bit. We now arrive at the modern scientific view. And from this perspective, the dream isn't some mystical oracle. It's more like the brain's super diligent nightly filing clerk. The core idea here is that dreaming is basically emotional housekeeping. During REM sleep, our brain replays the emotionally charged stuff from the day, but, and this is the cool part, it does it with the stress chemicals turned way down. It's like a way of sorting through experiences, taking the sharp, painful edges off and filing them away properly into your memory. It's literally a form of nightly therapy that helps us handle stress. So from this point of view, our most common dreams are pretty direct metaphors for what's going on in our waking lives. You dream you're unprepared for a test? That's probably your brain chewing on a fear of failure at work.
Losing your teeth? That could be tied to anxiety about how you're communicating or just feeling powerless. It's all connected.
And this is what I call the Dragon's Daily Report. Why? Because it's so incredibly practical. It gives you this clear, immediate signal about the exact stressors and imbalances in your life right now. It's your subconscious handing you a memo saying, hey, this is what you need to deal with tomorrow.
And now, finally, we come to my own view, a view forged in alchemical fire. This perspective sees dreams not just as a wish, or for balance, or as therapy, but as a direct measure of your personal power.
The core message is really this simple. Your dreams are the ultimate gauge of your inner fire, your raw life force, your creative energy, your passion, your will to create and to destroy. Think about it. When this fire burns bright, your dreams are vivid, they're powerful, they're unforgettable. But when it starts to dim, dreams can become gray, hazy, forgettable, or just filled with anxiety.
So through this lens, symbols take on a new meaning. A dragon in your dream, that's not just a monster, that is your untamed, unconscious power. So you have to ask, is it at peace with you or is it raging out of control? If you're breathing fire in the dream, that could be your will being asserted out in the world. Are you creating with it or are you destroying? And if a dragon is guarding a pile of treasure, maybe that treasure is your own unrealized potential. And maybe that dragon is your own fear standing in the way. So there you have it. 4 powerful lenses: the Freudian, the Jungian, the modern, and my own draconic view. With these, you now have everything you need. You can become the cartographer of your own soul.
This table right here, this is your toolkit, synthesized. From now on, when you wake up from a dream, you can run it through these questions. Is my subconscious hiding a forbidden desire here? Is it showing me a part of myself I'm neglecting? Is my brain just sorting through yesterday's anxieties? Or is this a report on the state of my inner fire? Each lens is going to give you a different kind of truth.
You know, every single night, without fail, you get this encrypted report from the deepest part of your being. It holds the keys to your fears, your power, your true potential. So the only question left is, are you finally ready to read it?